know that they've got a big fight when Boxing Bros is in town. That's when you know. That's when you know. So
right, Boxing Bros UK here. I'm the Hister Boss Chris. I'm here with Mr. Neutral from Red Corner Boxing. And we've got some new news. Everyone's thinking, what's this thing with Usyk? Who's putting on the show? How's it going to work? Well, there was an interview on TalkSport today from the man himself, the actual guy who's organising the event. Here we go.
Also, over the last 24, 48 hours, you will have seen news dropping from IVB, I Visit Boxing, announcing an attempt at a world record boxing crowd, a partnership as well with YouTube. The CEO of I Visit Boxing, Ed Pereira, very kindly giving up a little bit of time to come and join us on the show to talk us through this and explain a little bit further for boxing fans. Ed, thanks for this. How are you, my man? You well?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, guys. A bit tired. It was a busy last 24 hours, but all good to be here with you.
Well, we appreciate you coming back to answer even more questions, because I know that you've been asked a ton yesterday when you were at the press conference and what have you. First, let's explore the partnership with YouTube. What does that look like for IVB?
I think we're really excited of partnering with YouTube. I think there's two reasons there. The first one is their scale. You know, for us, it's the biggest platform on earth, 2.7 billion users, and we've got access to those users. I think, you know, in the old days, you'd look at ESPN, the old ESPNs, those HBO deals. They had the coverage, they had the fans, the eyeballs were with them. Things have changed now. The eyeballs are with the streamers. You can see that from the shows with Netflix, etc. So for us, if we wanted to stream, the dream was YouTube. I'm really glad to kind of be working with them to get this done. So the first thing is just the access to the platform. Second thing is the technology that they bring to bear. Our deal looks very like the NFL one, where the technology that we got with the NFL, or the NFL got with YouTube, was great. The content creator watch-alongs, the multi-camera angles, or you can choose different things. So really excited to working with them for both of those things, really. Been looking at growing the audience within boxing. They've got loads of boxing content and loads of boxing eyeballs. So for us, it's kind of that link to be helped to kind of target and engage with those audiences. And also, you know, one of the key things that we're looking to do is to make money. Everybody wants to make money. So we're going to be using pay-per-view, their pay-per-view platform. So really excited about that, because obviously when you're looking at pay-per-view normally in the market, it's what we call behind a double paywall. So you've got to pay the subscription, then the pay-per-view on top. YouTube is ubiquitous. It's in everybody's pocket. It's preloaded on everybody's phones. That pay-per-view platform, that's the secret. So we're really excited about that, as well as kind of that strength with regards to those links with the content creators. I think one of the big things,
like us.
Look, I understand the purists. When you look at somebody like Jake Paul, the purists might have something to say about it, but what you cannot deny is that he brought eyeballs to boxing. Well, Jake Paul was made on YouTube with his brand. I mean, great guy.
I'll pause it there. I got to disagree with that. Like, I think he brought the wrong kind of eyeballs. Like, he brought eyeballs to boxing, and people watch it and think boxing's shit because of the fights that he puts on. Do you know what I mean? The build-up's better than the actual fights. I don't think it makes... What do you think make to that? Do you think he brought a lot of new eyeballs to boxing and new boxing fans? I don't think he really did.
It depends on how you look at it, really, Chris. Because if you think, well, a generation of YouTube users, 20 years in the making, you know, in its infancy, that army of YouTubers, he is going to have first-hand access to it. However, boxing is still a niche demographic. Yes, he's got access to 2.5 billion users, but you've got to work out what the percentages of that are actually A, interested in boxing, B, are interested in PPV, and C, are actually interested in Jake Paul and what he's done. So when you work all that out, it's a very small minority.
And I just think, like, in the end up, the fans that he brings, I don't think he'll bring any fans. I think he kind of hurts boxing a bit, because people think boxing's shit. If they wait all night to watch one of his fights, they're terrible. His fights are always shocking, aren't they?
Yeah, I think what this is more designed at now, especially with MVP and the way he's built his women's stable up, and now he's doing it with the men's.
That's good. His women's boxing is good.
I think this is more sort of steered towards MVPs as a professional promotional outfit rather than what Jake Paul's doing. However, Jake Paul will always ride off that bandwagon and no doubt sneak his way in there, you know, with a huge PPV. And it's an alternative platform for him. Should, you know, Netflix be, you know, not as forthcoming as they were last time, obviously, because the numbers weren't that great for the Andy Joshua fight.
Yeah, well, I didn't watch it, but anyway, we'll continue.
A great team behind him, but his brand was YouTube. And for me, talking to YouTube in the early negotiations and having chats with them, I said to them, look, why don't we build a great content creator out of an amazing boxer? So start with the athleticism first, and then let's go on to making them superstars. And with that platform, you can do that.
Okay. 2 questions on that then. What type of price point are you looking at for the end user when it comes through the pay-per-view on YouTube?
Really important, this one. I've gone out and said I wanted to bring boxing back to the people, so we've got to keep it cheap. I think something that Gareth said, look, there is earlier in the show, there is a space for pay-per-view. We need pay-per-view for those big fights, but pay-per-view has got too expensive. That's the biggest problem. So we're looking at keeping them really keen. £10 in the UK, around £10, $15. That smashes below what happens mainly in the US. And the reason why we can do that is the reach of YouTube. I think, you know, we've been involved in helping advertise some of the biggest fights over the last few years.
So I'm just going to pause it there. What do you make of that? I'm all on board for that.
Now, what? See, when he was saying before about reaching a certain demographic in there, he's already, with that statement, he's going to win people over to him, whether they're casual or hardcore, purists, whatever. Those prices alone for a big event, a big card, is going to be appealing. It's going to be mouth-watering, Chris. And it's going to be a hell of a selling tool as well. So I'm interested to see what they got in mind for the content creators.
Yeah, for sure. I think, but like you say, imagine people who don't even really like boxing, but they like hosting parties and stuff, you know, women and stuff like that. Oh, let's have a fight party. We'll get some snacks out.
Yeah.
There's a big fight. I don't know. Say Crawford comes back or Canelo gets in a big fight with someone. Let's buy the Canelo fight. No matter who he's fighting, it won't matter because it's only a tenner. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
This is very much a litmus paper test, you know, as far as streaming is concerned. And he's quite right. It's the biggest platform and the streaming platform in the world. There's no subscription. It's absolutely free, pre-installed, as he said, on the phone. Now, they're talking our language when he starts saying, right, well, look, 10, 15, £10 in the UK, $15 in the USA. Now he's talking. He's already gripped us, as you and I both had the same reaction. Oh, yes. Now we're talking. Right, bring it on. Exactly. So it's looking good so far.
Right, let's get to it.
And I think if those fights had a broader reach, more people would have bought those pay-per-views and made them cheaper. So I think we're looking at selling more pay-per-views if you lower the price and you make it more accessible.
Okay.
100%.
The other piece you were alluding to there regarding the creator aspect of fight sports, and like you say, our audience absolutely have their opinions on Jake Paul and what he's doing in the ring and what he's doing outside of the ring and what have you. But you're looking at trying to develop people's profiles from an athletic point of view. So the people that you're working with and putting on your shows are going to be boxers first, people that have come through some type of pedigree, and then you're looking to grow their profiles through content creation. Is that right?
100%. And I think working alongside YouTube and their team, that's the vision. Bring the boxers in first.
Right.
These guys are great boxers, high-end boxers. I'm not talking, you know.
Yeah, because that would people who've asked me today, are they going to be like going down a Misfits route? Are they going to be going down a you know what I mean? People like Jake Paul, are they going to be doing that? But you're saying that you're actually working with boxers, people, like you said, with pedigree, and now you're taking them into the world of content creation.
And let me jump in there, Ed. The obviously you want to break the records in San Francisco on July the 11th. You want to get more than 135,000. You've got the support of the San Franciscan mayor. It's going to be a huge event in North California. I did speak to you yesterday from an airport when I was on my way home, and I kind of, even though you tiptoed around it, when you talked about the size and resonance of where you were headed towards, I said, oh, that sounds perfect then for Oleksandr Usyk and Deontay Wilder. Is that the kind of scale of names and fighters that you're talking about with these giant events?
Absolutely. You know, we're a boxing first organization. If you're going to be looking to bring this large amount of people together, you've got to bring the best boxers to play. And I think that's the reality. So yes, that's the scale, that's the type of level we're looking at.
And who's on your wish list then? Because we've been talking about what Zuffa Boxing are doing, how they've got Jaya Pattaya now. Can I ask who's on your wish list then if you were creating a couple of events?
It's really interesting because that's one of the questions everybody's been asking me. My wish list, because I'm a fan first and have always been a fan first, is to go right to the top. You know, seeing Tyson Fury come out of retirement, that would be an amazing boxer to have on our card. That's the level we're looking at. And that's where we really get excited, because that's where we can bring some big stars and make them even bigger. You know, and that's the idea. Bring them more to the casual fans. You're never going to break the world record with 150,000 fight fans, pure fight fans. You're going to have to bring in the casual fans. Yeah. So for that, you need the biggest names, you need the biggest performers. And
my only problem with that is, like, they're getting some shit and spraying it gold and telling us it's gold, because it's all well and good getting the biggest names, but you need two big names to make it a good fight. Like this first event, they say we want the best people. So what? They've got Usyk and they've got Deontay Wilder. Big names, both at the end of their careers, including Usyk, even though he's number one. Wilder finished. It's not going to be a good fight. Give him a pass. It's their first event. And then the next name they're talking about, another guy coming out of retirement at the end of his career, lost twice on the bounce in his last two fights, Tyson Fury. Like, what names are they talking about that's actually good, that's going to make good fights that we want to watch as boxing fans, not just for casual people? Oh, we know that person, let's watch them fight. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think if you look at, in essence, what they are, they're just going to be another promoter. So, I think what they want is to create an environment where promoters will come to them. You've got it made. You've got a brilliant platform. You're making it cheap. You know, the crux of the question is just how far on purses can they go to put on these cards that's going to attract the casuals, that's going to attract the millions of untapped casuals that he's promising to bring to the table. I would say it'll be a fraction of that at first. But this, as I said, it's going to be very much a test case here. And if it is successful and they've got access to 200,000 PPVs at £10 or $15, when you work out the numbers, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it'll be amazing. But they're not talking about putting on any proper fights. They're just talking about bringing names in. So what? They're going to bring Tyson Fury in and put him in?
I don't think so. He said it himself, my wish list.
Yeah.
So I take no notice of that. I think it's going to be a case of that sort of standard, that elite standard. Over Tyson Fury.
Maybe a Crawford would be nice.
A Crawford, a Canelo. Look at the PPV stars, the traditional PPV stars we got right now. Anthony Joshua, Crawford, Canelo. If Tank Davis was fighting, he'd be on. I can tell you now, Ryan Garcia, Conor Ben are going to be on these wish lists.
Yeah.
So anyone that can bring in viewership, PPV numbers, they're going to be tapping into.
Need the guys with the biggest, I don't know, attitude to the game, you know?
So just on sorry, Gary.
No, go ahead, Adam.
Because for people that are unaware of the second part of this, we've just been speaking about the YouTube elements of this. You're planning a show on July the 11th in San Francisco to break the world record. The current world record stems back all the way to 1941, 135,000 people in attendance for a fight there. You're looking to try and do 150,000 bums on seats to watch boxing. And one of my questions was going to be, what would be the headline for that? Because that would then hopefully be the attraction to bring people out, and you're already alluding to that. How far down the line are you with conversations of those types of fighters being involved in something like this? Are you speaking to their management, their promotions? Because I would imagine that you're going to have to work together with everybody, bring everybody together in order to put something like this on.
Correct. I think primarily my focus was very much on, as you can imagine, working with the city of San Francisco and the mayor to get the permits. It took a long time. I've been working on this for about 6-7 months. So really glad that we got the support of the mayor and the whole team there to do this. But at the same time as doing that and the YouTube deal, we have been talking to promoters. One of the key things we want to say is we don't want to be promoter. We're not coming out to be promoters. We're big event organizers. We want to work with all the promoters. We want to be kind of an open house. We want to welcome, we'll pay good money or fair money for good fights. And we have been talking to quite a few promoters over the last 3 or 4 months, getting this ready. So things have been bubbling.
So, you know, it's great you've got the support of Daniel Lurie, the mayor of San Francisco. If I'm thinking about how you get 140,000 people at an event, forgive me for saying this, I'm thinking that's Jake Paul versus KSI. That's Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. That's Oleksandr Usyk against, I don't know, maybe, I don't know who would generate that. But
Moses.
You are looking at Terence Crawford coming back maybe against someone to get those kind of numbers against a massive name. Those numbers at an event have to be made from something extraordinary. What we got 70,000 for Conor Benn and Chris Eubank last year a couple of times because of the resonance and the generational grudge match between their fathers. So to me, the matchmaking, the promoting of it is one thing, and you're very, very, very capable of doing that. We know that because you've been involved in promoting events for so long. The matchmaking to me is key in that.
You're absolutely right, Gareth. That is the biggest challenge. Can I fill stadiums? Can I create unique events? Can I build stadiums where nobody else has built stadiums before? Absolutely, 100%. It's in the matchmaking. That's my biggest challenge. That's going to be the challenge over the next few weeks as we put together these cards.
What would be the price point for a ticket? Because my experiences recently, especially over
that was my question,
is that quite a lot of the audience are disengaged with it. And I think it comes down to everything that you've just been speaking about a moment. And the price point to actually come to the event, to do 150,000 tickets to come and watch these boxers is also going to be important. Where are you at with that?
You're absolutely right. I think the US market is not, at the moment, unfortunately, in boxing terms, not as developed as the UK market. We're lucky in the UK, you know, the promoters are firing on all cylinders, the boxers are achieving great things. In the US, the disconnect, and particularly in the kind of that broadcast field,
yeah, I just want to say, like, it says everything when Dana White, the guy who's supposed to be taking over American boxing and bringing it back, is falling asleep at Crawford Canelo. Did you see that?
Yeah, and also they've got to have a similar ideology with putting the ticket sales cheaper than anything that's ever been put on before. So, you know, and when they were talking at 135,000 or 150,000 people, they want to break this record. You know, they've got to not only do the matchmaking to cater for that, but they've also got to make it so cheap that it's just unavoidable. You can't miss it. So are we talking $30-40 a ticket? Or are we talking $200-300? These are the crucial questions, because for me,
for us guys in the UK, because we love our boxing, are they going to not bother doing it here? Let's find out.
It needs to become kind of a festival for the city. It's got to be about the fan first. All of my philosophy is around fans. So if you say to the fans of San Francisco, listen, we want you to turn out, it's for the fans, you then got to give something to the fans. And the key thing that we want to do, and I know I say it all the time and it sounds a bit like weird, but I really do mean it. We want to bring boxing back to the people. We believe that there is a disconnect. You guys are absolutely right. There is a disconnect between the American fans and boxing, but we can bring that together. And the way we're going to do that is a large proportion of those tickets, because it's such a huge site, are going to be free. So that's going to raise the kind of the anticipation. That's going to raise the excitement. And that's going to get people that might not ever have access to ever go and watch a boxing, card. it's going to give them access. I think one of the biggest things that we're talking about is boxing with the high pay-per-views, with the high ticket prices, is kind of been a little bit navel-gazing. You know, we've got some great boxers and nobody knows them. They could be walking down the street here in San Francisco. Nobody know them. And it's such a shame because these guys are showmen. These guys are great athletes. So let's get more people watching them. Let's get more people engaging with them. As we grow the market, as we get eyeballs, the sport will grow, the business will grow, and I think boxing will re-engage with the US market.
You've got my attention with everything you just said there. How do you then fund the purses for the fighters then if you're letting people in for nothing?
But firstly, how does he decide who gets a ticket for free and who doesn't? That's what I want to know.
I would imagine it'd be the local districts, you know, town halls and things like that will that engage in the running of free tickets and that for the people of that area. You know, first. So, and even
first serve as well.
Yes, and even after the free tickets, I would imagine the tickets will still be cheaper than a traditional boxing match that you see in 2025. So this is nothing short of amazing so far. But again, there's a crucial question here: how do you fund the buses? I think it's going to be done through the PPV. Let's see what he says.
Well, listen, we're not letting everybody in for nothing.
No, a percentage of.
Yeah, I think, you know, if we're looking numbers wise, we're going to have a really good stadium size that we'll be paying. You know, so I think we're really happy with that. Second of all, one of the key things that and people ask me why I have got into the game. I think that the reality is this. I think boxing, and you can see that the public wants to engage with boxing. And when we were talking to YouTube, combat sports is their biggest growth market. That's why they're getting into the game. They're getting into the game because they've seen it and they want a piece of it. They want a piece of it, and Netflix has got it. If you look at Netflix, forget the Jake Paul, look at Canelo Crawford. What was it, 40 odd million?
43 million, yeah.
43. That's not boxing dying in the States. That's just a lack of events that if we got 43 million here in the UK watching a fight, would be over the moon. Do you know what I mean? I remember football before the Premier League.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember. Premier League came in, Sky came in, changed the face of football. What happened then? We started to see an influx of big sponsors that were putting big money, the McDonald's of the world, the Nikes of this world. These guys, if you look at the sponsors in boxing right at the moment, they're not that level. And, you know, they're doing, the promoters are doing a great job.
I see
selling sponsorship. But you're not talking FIFA level. You're not talking
Clever.
Premier League level. You're not talking about Barclays. And the reason is because the Barclays, the FIFAs of this world, the visas of this world, they want to see eyeballs and they want to see structure. And what we're bringing to them, what we're bringing to the sponsors is exactly that. What we're bringing to the mayors, the cities of the US and the UK is an opportunity to engage with that audience, to get eyeballs and to give something back to the people. And when you do that, then the corporates come behind that as well. So you're essentially looking at three key pillars of revenue. You're looking at the YouTube revenue, you're looking at whatever revenue that is, and it's a mix of different revenues, whether it's pay-per-view, whether it's advertising, whether it's money that they're giving as part of the partnership. The second kind of pillar of revenue is the ticket sales. That, listen, if someone was telling me that movie, if you build it, they will come. I think people are going to want to buy tickets for this event. That's what's really exciting. So
sell it cheap.
But it will all come down, Ed. It will all come down to who's fighting and who's on the card. That's at the end of the day,
he's right to a point.
To what the storyline is, what the narrative is, and do we want to see those guys fight on a Saturday night if the 11th is a Saturday night of July?
You smashed it.
I'm not going to go that far with it.
That is
good
the biggest challenge.
So when are you going to announce that then? How long have you got to announce that?
Well, we've got another, on the 12th of February, we're going to announce another event before that one. So we're not going straight into that one. We're going to announce another one, and you guys are going to see the level of the cards that we're working with. So 12th of February, we're really excited. Now that we've got everything, all the pieces together, now it's about the big challenge, getting the biggest cards together for the biggest events.
I'm right in thinking there's multiple events here, isn't there?
12 a year.
Is it 12 that you're looking at for the iconic series? Is that what it's labelled as?
And some of them will be pay-per-view, some of them will be free. And I think that's really important. You know, for us, it's about saying, look, it's
just
not
put Sky Sports out of business
or whatever. It's about getting that broader eyeballs. So the bigger ones will be pay-per-view. That's the only model really that works. But you're going to get, you know, kind of some free ones out there as well.
I think every fan listening to this and watching this back maybe over the weekend, they want you to win.
Exactly.
They want this to happen. So best of luck, man. I love it. I love the energy. I love the noise about it. Every question that I've asked you, there's an answer for it. Let's rock and roll, baby. Let's make some fights.
We will do our very best. And as I always say, whatever, you know, listen, if I explode in a million pieces, I still tried.
Wow.
Wow. Let's just finish off. Give me your final thoughts on that, matey.
Right. Fabulous concepts. Strategically well engineered. The fact, you know, they can go straight into a rival for Turkey Al-Sheikh, where even Turkey Al-Sheikh, he may have the money, but he hasn't got what this guy can bring. He hasn't got the audience what this guy can bring in partnership with YouTube. This is fantastic, not only for UK boxing, but for worldwide boxing. And it's going to bring, like the guy said, millions and millions of untapped fans worldwide into the sport of boxing. And they are looking at the younger generation, and you can't blame them, because that's the generation that was built on YouTube since its conception in 2005.
I think it's great for boxing. I can't wait for this to happen. I just want better fights. Like, I don't want to see Fury coming out of retirement fighting. I don't want to see Usyk Wilder. But I'm going to give him a chance because it's such a great idea, concept. And I've just had a thought. Someone like Ben Shalom, who's only getting 4 dates a year from the BBC, this would be amazing for him to get his fighters on this platform. Wow. Ben Shalom, I hope you're watching this. This is your chance to get back in the game, baby.
If it doesn't finish him, mate, and that's a fact, because this guy's promising 12 fight dates a year. I do not think purses are going to be a problem here getting world champions. I can see cards where they're going to be rivaling Turkey's cards, maybe 3 or 4 world championship fights, because this, you know, through the funding, the 3 pillars of funding, like you said, they've got more than enough capacity to rival Turkey's purses for these events. This is going to take off. I trust you. Trust me, it's going to take off.
Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment, like and subscribe. Boxing Bros UK, Mr. Neutral, we're out.
Help, I need somebody. Help, now she's